All right, guys. I'm sad. This is one of the last videos for this book, anyway. So we're at the very end, and basically, I've walked you through the garden of beginners, right? Just the very bare minimum stuff you'd want to consider if you were going to pursue music in a serious fashion. So at the very last door, or like kind of the lock that unlocks advanced mode, would be wrapping your head around not only diatonicism, diatonic chords, but diatonic sevens, okay? Diatonic harmony is when we're in key, right? The key of C. I could have did that anywhere there. I could have did. Could have did an A. But it's really simple, diatonic harmony. The 2, the 3, and the 4 were minor chords. Sorry, the 2, the 3, and the 6 were minor chords. Now they are minor 7 chords. The 1 and the 4 are not, we used to be major. Now they are major 7s. That's these brown ones right here. The blue ones are minor. The brown ones are major 7s, represented by that triangle for major. And then the 5 chord, you have to remember this. That's why I oranged it. The 5 chord is always dominant. And that 7 that used to be diminished right here, now it is a minor 7 flat 5 or a half diminished, right? Because we added that other layer of harmony. This will be easy to transpose if you practice all your triads, as these chords are just 2 triads mixed together, okay? So here's all the voicings you're going to experience in this little project. All right. So I'm just trying to prepare you for what advanced music might look like, because you might find tutorials that say they're for beginners and they are already starting with all these 7s everywhere, okay? So the 1 and the 4 are major 7. The 2, 3, and 6 are minor 7. The 5 will always be dominant, and the 7 will always be half diminished, okay? Or diminished, however you want to think of that. So you really would need to be able to take that through 12 keys to truly begin to wield your instrument. I know that's daunting, but I can assure you it's one of the most enjoyable journeys you can embark on. That is your task, as it was mine. I will show you other shapes or voicings to try out as you learn these, okay? So here we have an open voicing where I take my chord. Right, I'm going to take this idea, this diatonic idea, and I'm going to put the 3 and the 7 on the top and walk it. It feels like 2 5s in my hands, but really I have beautiful harmony, right? For very little work. That's why the knowledge is the power, right? Because the more you know, the less hard you have to work, honestly. Notice how far, as long as I'm in the right shape, all those notes underneath sound great. So that was a 1 5 3 7. This other one is really slick. This is omitting the 5 and just playing 3s and 7s and 1s. So 1 3 7 3. one shape. The voicing is the voicing, right? It's the order of the numbers. I'm just moving them around. So you can do some nice stuff with that too, right? I'm getting entire songs to come out just built on that one shape. So I'm trying to leave you guys with some cool tricks before you go. Okay, here, this is kind of tricky. We're going to take our 1, 7, 3, 7. Okay? That left hand's just going to walk. And then this right hand's going to do this cute little melody. So you might want to put the ring finger on the top. Right? So I'm just stepping back and taking a half step on the last one. This is a Barry Harris exercise. And before you complain, this is the easy one. So what I'm doing there is I'm taking one note from the key, right? So those two are in key. Those are all in key. And then that second note, I'm just putting a half step behind it, and whatever happens, happens. And that's where you get those interesting additions. Once again, though, one voicing, getting me all of that to come out. Add the seventh note to each triad. Write the correct Romans in, okay? So I just provided the Romans for you again. You have a visual right here. We're still in C. I'm not trying to trick you or anything. So these all will help. So if the first chord was C major 7, right? The bottom one is correct. You need to fix the top one, right? So this D minor 7 is my 2 chord, and it's minor, so it's lowercase. And then it's you actually have to put the M, not for the little lowercase, but for the 7, right? You're telling us it's a 2 minor 7. And then I'd have to draw, it looks like a C on the top. So I'll put that in there. I don't know how I got on red. I like blue. So we'll just put a little C on the top. And then my next chord looks like it's number 3, and it's minor. Remember, that comes from the top, guys. Pay attention to the lowercase ones. So it's minor. I think that's an E minor 7. And I should have drew a 3, not an E. And then this next one would be big 4, right? Major. And then you can put a little triangle for major 7. And yours better look better than mine. I'm using a mouse right now. That's how you do those. And then lastly, I want you to experience the diatonic 7s as arpeggios, okay? Very simple, just gotta walk it. And then move over and bring it down. That was my 2 chord, and then move over, bring it up. That was my 3 chord, bring it up. My 4 chord, my dominant 5, my relative 6, my half diminished 7, that's when you'll know you have a key under control if you can do that, okay? Take it through G and F. Here's the key of F. Look out for that B flat. Every time we play B, we're going to be playing, excuse me, we're going to play B flat. So real quick, 1, G minor 2, A minor 3, B flat major 4, dominant C, dominant 5, minor 6 on D. There's my E half diminish, then back to 1. Oops, I already messed up. Let's try again. That's how you do it. Same game for G. We're in G major now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're back to 1. Okay, and then the last little bit. Write the correct Roman chord. And you have to kind of read what it is, right? So, but they're all opened up, right? What is the chord? I'm sure Cordy's telling you right now on my screen, but I don't even see that when I'm talking usually. Looks a lot like C major 7 to me. I think that's a 1. That's a triangle, guys. It's just really hard for me to do. That's a major 7. So that's a 1, right? Because it's my 1 chord. I'm trying to make you think diatonically, okay? So you could do this in any key. So I'll give you a hint. Look at the bottom note. If you're really struggling with this, look at the bottom note every time. This C goes up to F. So I have... Now you got to be able to play this for me, regardless if you understand what the chord is. You still got to be able to do these for me. Okay, that's my 4 chord, and then it goes down to D. It's one shape, by the way, guys. Once you get the shape, you'll be okay. That's my 2. Goes up to G. That's my dominant 5. There's my 3 chord. My 6. And there's my 2 again. There's my 5, and that wants to come back home to 1. All right, guys. Well, we're at the end. I'm not going to make another video for the next page because there's nothing to do, so we'll just talk about it. But I hope you had a good time. Sorry it took me so long to get all these done, but it was a lot of fun making them. I learned a lot, and the good news is if you hated this book, the next books will be better because I learned a lot about making these books. Apologize for the typos. I only found a few so far, some in the beginning, just a few at the end. My bad. I'll give you a discount on the book for every typo. I really don't care. Wasn't the book free? Now what? We're on the end. We've covered so much. What if I told you this was just the beginning? Would you believe me? Would you? I'm not even reading. I'm like actually asking you. Would you believe me? This is all beginner stuff. What if I told you this little journey of ours had no intended ending, a mountain with no summit? Would you still climb it? Where do the ideas come from? Think about that. Where do those ideas come from to play? Trust in yourself. I'll leave you with your final and perpetual goal. Make good music. Let's reflect on everything we've covered so far. And if anyone can tell me the names of my bass player and my drummer, tell me in class and I'll give you some candy or something. I think we mentioned it in one of the videos. We started way up here as little babies, chapter 1. Remember those guys? Some typos are only in the piano book and not in the guitar book. That's kind of annoying too. We covered our pillars, our basics, how to write. Remember the coffee? Remember the half steps? I remember. Remember Romans? I remember. Remember feeling the beat? I remember that. Tetra, a little baby fish. Remember eighth notes? Remember 16th notes? Remember 12 bars? Remember minor tetras, triads? Remember the alphabet? Remember that guy, suspended? You guys did a lot. If you made it to the end, good job. We covered a ton of stuff. My favorite, bass lines, bass. ratios, all this good stuff. I hope it helped. This really is just the beginning. Sorry if it felt unorganized. I really tried to color code things and make it make sense. So you learned how to handle it by yourself. And then, yeah, that's it. What should I do now? Oh, hi, Beanie. That's the book, guys. Hopefully you had a good time. I left you this blank page. If you ever needed some sheet music or wanted some tab, you can write it here. And this will be... it's not a circle. This will be our kind of our musical compass in our next part of our journey, right? If everything was beginner, then this is where you'd pick up to be intermediate. This is called the circle of fifths. I've been teaching you this in the book, just haven't been telling you about it, okay? You've been playing these patterns, you should recognize. Okay, easy, hard, medium, north, south, west, and east, right? Well, I don't know about you, but I'm excited. The book's done. I did pretty good. I think there's only one video that goes over 20 minutes, and that was the reading isn't hard one, because you guys needed a lot of help with that. And yeah, that's it. Here's all the projects. The book was broken down into rhythm, harmony, and melody. We had some preliminary assignments, and we had some boss battles right here, right? Rhythm, harmony, and melody. One off. This was the intro. There's the birds. And then, yeah, here's every single project. Every video has a pattern associated with it. Normally, I wouldn't make projects like this. This is just how this one came out. But this was cool. This kind of helped me keep it all organized. Yeah, that's it. Here's the piano I was using. I'm gonna save real quick before I change anything. But I had access to all kinds of funny noises. Ooh, that's a nice one. And since you're still here, I'll make a song for you real quick. This is how fast you can do this stuff, guys, when you really pay attention. You really know all the buttons. So first we put a pattern in. We're just going to do it on one pattern. Go to one off. New pattern. Call this Bye Bye. And we'll put that right there. We don't really care how long it is just yet. Let's go with 8 bars. So this is the pattern we're in. There's my little dancer girl. Oh, this is an instrument made out of Beanie's face. It plays the different colors. Plays the different colors in the image and regurgitates it as audio. So it's kind of interesting. Quick save. Let's get some new drums. Okay. I'll record that real quick. Let's go with 2 bars. Here we go. And we'll loop it so it'll keep playing. I can do one thing at a time, nice and even, and then add layers to it. So I think you can almost see my hands. Let's make this a little bit bigger. We don't really need chordy at this time. So here's where my drums are at. And just have fun with those too. I mean, it's pretty fun playing the drums. Let's move that mic closer. So I actually made the pattern too small, so we're just going to change these two chords right here. Oh boy. If you forget to turn off the record button, that'll happen. And then I'm gonna merge those together. Boom. Put our bass in. Did the wrong bass, didn't I? Yeah, let's do the 808. That's it. I mean, that's how you start a song. Anyway, it's pretty easy. What else? There was some glitching here because of the drums. So when I glued them together, I actually had more drums recorded than I needed, and that's where that came from. Something right there is not good. Get rid of those. Get rid of those. I think that's actually in the bass that there's the issue. This is the boring part. You gotta do all this stuff by yourself. Not sure why it's glitching like that. And you can get all that done on one pattern, right? That's it. All right, guys, I hope you learned something. I'm ready to eat breakfast. It's 4 o'clock now. See ya.